Let them sleep, they will wake up one day. He stood tall, a beacon against the sky, a living miracle that defied belief. For a fleeting moment, a raging fire consumed him, yet he emerged utterly untouched. He gazed at the crowd below, and they at him, a shared disbelief echoing between them. How could this be? It all began mere days ago. The universe's profound truth had unveiled itself to him, a revelation so monumental he couldn't hold it within. Let them sleep, a voice seemed to whisper. They will awaken someday. But he couldn't accept those words. If he remained silent, his people would live and perish trapped in their slumber. They were so deeply immersed in the dream of everyday life that he knew it would take millennia for them to grasp it. And humans don't live that long. His love for them was boundless, too great to keep this truth to himself. So he raced to his town, driven by an urgent need to share what he'd discovered. Day one, they scoffed, calling him a fool. Only a fool, they reasoned, could harbor such lunacy, let alone speak of it aloud. Day two, their whispers turned to shouts, branding him crazy. He'd lost his mind to utter such foolishness. Day three, the label shifted to heretic. He was no longer just mad, he was an enemy. They issued a stern warning. Speak no more of dreams and men. Day four, an ultimatum arrived. His words had ignited fear and panic among the common folk, forcing the elite to intervene. If his folly continued, their entire social structure might crumble. It was then he truly felt the chill of danger. Not only did they not want to wake up, but it seemed someone was profiting from their slumber. He wrestled with a heavy choice: continue speaking the truth or leave them be. No, he declared to himself. He had a sacred duty to them. He couldn't let them live like this. Better to know and despair than to sleepwalk into oblivion. This was his chance to prove the depth of his love. Day 5. As he stepped out, they were waiting. Children and elders alike pelted him with dirt and garbage. Even they didn't fully grasp why, only that his words were dangerous. Yet he pressed on. They needed the truth. His mission wasn't just for them, but for all humanity. His own life meant nothing in comparison. Day 6. His wife and children pleaded with him to stop. Their lives had become a living hell, and they knew the peril awaiting them. His heart ached, but they still didn't understand. His family accepted his faith out of compassion, not conviction. To them, he was a sick man, but he was their old man. He apologized profusely, but when he stepped outside, his resolve solidified. He had a mission. Day 7. They were waiting for him again, and their numbers swelled. He had pushed them too far. It was then he truly grasped it. People were willing to do horrifying things to avoid facing the truth, preferring a comfortable lie over harsh reality. He was condemned to meet the gods, only they could judge him, and today they would send him to them. The entire town gathered in the market to witness his departure. They brought wood and oil, intent on making his ascent to heaven as swift as possible. One by one, the esteemed elders stepped forward, delivering their warnings against forbidden words. They wouldn't allow him to utter a single sound, but just before the flames were lit, he spoke, his voice clear and resonant. There is only the oneness. Everything else is fake. The fire roared to life, its heat so intense that the crowd instinctively recoiled. They watched as the flames consumed him, only his family weeping openly for their loved one. But then the fire calmed, then waned, leaving behind nothing but ash, and him standing there unharmed, completely naked. An extraordinary silence fell over the town. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. He looked at them, a fleeting hope blooming in his chest that this miracle would surely change their hearts. Now they would see the salvation in his words. But humanity sleeps deeply, and one doesn't easily rouse from such slumber. It must be a mistake, someone declared. The fire was soft on his skin. Yet the heat still radiated, and the dust of the burnt wood swirled around them, reawakening their doubts. He used some protective material, another suggested, but no one knew of such a material. An argument erupted, a flurry of possibilities proposed for this utterly unexplainable event. Not one person, however, considered for a second that he might be right. They argued amongst themselves, leaving him standing there until the cold, coupled with familiar words, stirred him from his deep disappointment and lethargy. Let them sleep. He mused, can humanity be so blind to the obvious truth? Even a miracle didn't change their hearts. He turned and ran, leaving them to their arguments until boredom set in. They looked around, saw he was gone, and collectively decided to forget what had happened. They could go back to their comfortable sleep. But within some, a seed of doubt had been sown, refusing to be forgotten. It was as real as the sun's rays and the scent of fresh bread. His words lingered, a quiet echo in their minds. Perhaps the truth wasn't what people believed. Maybe one should seek it for themselves. Far from that sleepy town, the man ran towards the horizon, believing he had failed humanity, but he hadn't. He couldn't have known then that his words would echo in a time not his own. A profound disappointment settled upon him, the words still ringing in his ears. Let them sleep. Someday, someone like you will also wake up. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe for more. Yours, the Counselor, SFTG.